Good morning, dear Dharma friends. Well, the path feels a little uphill this morning. It is the March 8th, 2022. I am that which takes itself to be Robert Beatty. And I'm glad to see that you're here. Wouldn't be much of a party by myself. Be all right. So this is a reading from this wonderful little book called Tales of a Magic Monastery by Father Theophane the monk. He's passed away, I believe, a Trappist monk. Wrote this gorgeous little book. Someone gave it to me on a retreat. I remember it was David. Gave this to me 35 years ago on a retreat at Brighton Bush. Every now and then it drifts to the surface of my bookshelf. This beautiful little story is called The Room of Righteous Indignation. The guest master looked at me carefully and led me to a room marked Righteous Indignation. Good, I thought. Back home, some people don't understand me. They think I'm judgmental, but this man understands me. There wasn't much in the room besides the four walls, and that was all right with me. I sat down and meditated for a while. Then I read my Bible. I found myself looking at those walls. I read some more, then meditated, then looked at the walls again. Late in the evening, as I sat staring at one of the walls, it became transparent. And I found myself looking at my own monastery. Fascinating. What's more, as I watched, I found I could see right through its walls and into the church and the cloisters. After a while, I could even see inside the cell of each monk. I saw everything. I saw what each monk had in his room and what he was doing. I saw some praying, some sleeping, some reading. I could even see what each one was reading. Brother, do you see what that one's reading? And look at all the private property. Soon I could hear their voices. I could hear everything that was said. The complaints, the backbiting, my own name was mentioned. That one to be complaining about me. I began to take notes. I filled page after page. I had thought the place was bad before, but here were the facts. What they said, what they did, what they had. Nothing subjective here, just the cold, hard facts. As I kept writing, I began to see right into their heads, to see their very thoughts. Those also I wrote down. Once, when I was resting my eyes, the thought came to me, I wonder what if I could see in the other, if the other wall were transparent. Perhaps if I kept looking at it long enough, well, it did open up, and through it I saw the magic monastery, every bit of it. What an eyeful that was. I thought my own place was bad. Talk about individualism. I began to write that down too. I rang for the brother and asked him to bring me some more notebooks. There was so much to write down. From time to time, a further question would come to me. I wonder what's behind these other two walls. I became uncomfortable. Who is there? What are those walls hiding? Why don't they let me see? It's probably dreadful. I took to staring at those walls. The brother said that behind one wall were the deceased members of the magic monastery, and behind the other were the deceased members of my own monastery. Ah, I said, why can't I see them? I want to see them. You won't like it, he said. Truth is all I want. That's all I ever wanted. I call a spade a spade. Show me. You'll only get angry, he replied. Show me. Bring me some more notebooks and show me. But he refused and hurried away. I was determined that when he returned the next day, I would get the truth out of him. I did. I took him by the throat and demanded to know what was going on behind those walls. Behind this one, he gasped, are the deceased members of your own community. They are all looking in at you. They are weeping and praying for you. Behind the other wall are the deceased members of the magic monastery. They are all looking at you and laughing. So let us, dear friends, take responsibility for this consciousness and the life that comes with it. Let's not look at somebody else's walls, somebody else's neurotic patterns, somebody else's greed, hatred, and delusion. Let us look right here. In fact, let us be right here. Comfortably upright, eyes closed or softly downcast. There's life here. There's a body here. Without any cognitive filters, without even names, let us become aware of the legs and the feet. The pelvis and all the life that cradles in the pelvis. The back. The fingers and hands and wrists and arms. The shoulders and armpits, the sides, the neck. The jaw, the cheeks, the eyes, the forehead. It's quite a commitment to get up routinely in the morning. To mindfully do whatever the rituals are for the morning. And then to make your way to the meditation hall. To gather together with Dharma friends. To abide in the body as it breathes. Of course, there's likely to be creations of the mind, thoughts of the past, thoughts of an imagined future, daydreams. Energies that could be classified as wanting, as desire, as disliking or aversion. The energies of restlessness and agitation and worry. The energies of sloth and torpor and dullness. Doubt. Kind of spinning of the mind's wheels and opposing points of view. And there's very often mood. We speak in Western psychology of mood disorders. When a mood, instead of coming and passing through, becomes personality, becomes something we believe in deeply. I am depressed, or I am happy. I am anxious. I am filled with faith and content. Mindfulness, with absolutely no effort, illuminates, shines upon, makes visible everything that arises. Mindfulness also illuminates the enlightenment factors of the mind. Is mindfulness itself very present this morning? How about concentration? Is the mind easily concentrated on the breath, or is it difficult to even find it? Is there curiosity that what is going on question? Is there tranquility or its opposite? And it's not saying that it's bad if it's not tranquil. It's just knowing the lay of the land, to look out over the landscape and know what one is seeing or knowing. Are there strong preferences for, I'd like it to be like this or that, or is equanimity in blossom? And how about delight or joy, contentment, or its opposites? Discontent, hearing, and so we sit right here at the absolute center of the universe. A tiny speck of life. The universe aware of itself. With each breath coming home to now. To this. Sitting and breathing. Each breath has its beginning. And we might respond, well, I've heard that so many times. What's new? This breath right now. Can the breath be enough? Can mindfulness and concentration become like a laser, but relaxed and open? This breath with its in-breathing and out-breathing right now is the present. It is what exists now. And without thinking about it so much, just noticing how impermanent it is, how it sings the song of anicca. It was not by accident that the Buddha's first teaching was the Four Ennobling Truths. Ennobling because we become much kinder and more compassionate, wise, as they dawn on us. The first truth, the first thing he talked about, was the fact that there is dukkha. There is dukkha, the dukkha that arises in birth, sickness, old age, decay, and death. In having experiences you'd rather not be having. In not having the experiences we'd like to be having. In being with persons we'd prefer not to be with. And not being with the beloved, the wanted. These experiences are ubiquitous, my favorite English word. They're there at the beginning of the day, the middle of the day, and the end of the day. At the beginning of a lifetime, at the middle, at the end. It takes a brave heart to actually awaken to dukkha. Because what's required is to acknowledge and then turn toward. It's the opposite of fantasy and daydreaming. We use the body to cultivate presence now, to cut through the clouds of delusion and fantasy. Like the way the sun will heat up a valley that has clouds in it, and then they will lift and disperse. Mindfulness does the same. The Buddha went on to talk about the cause of dukkha. And it's not the circumstances themselves, even physical pain, even the pain of a broken heart. It's the fact of a self, an imagined self, that can't accept reality. A self that wants more pleasure, less pain, and to be somewhere else, to become something different. And this too we can watch, we can know, we can observe directly. Tanha, thirst, craving. And when we open to both of these first truths, then the third, nibbana, nirvana, occurs. The quenching of wanting it to be different is therefore the ending of suffering. And so we come home to in-breathing and out-breathing. This breath now. And there's a fine equation. Can be stated like this. Am I suffering? If I am, what is the unenforceable rule that's causing the suffering? The world shouldn't be like this. There shouldn't be crazy psychopaths and destruction. There shouldn't be abandonment or addiction. There shouldn't be neglect. There shouldn't have been neglect or abuse in my past. Or in the past of anyone. And we can observe how this unenforceable rule causes us to suffer. And then as the light comes into that, as you draw that truth into your heart, there's sometimes this sweet relief. Oh, right, that too. We could call this the practice of insight meditation, or we could call it compassion. Whenever I'm hurting, no matter how I'm hurting, I aspire to hold myself in sweet, tender compassion. It doesn't take many words. It's just a willingness to know dukkha. So common in human experience. Okay. And of course, as we become compassionate with ourselves, so we can look upon and see the suffering in our loved ones, in our families, in the world. With greater and greater ease. Please now opening awareness, allowing the mystery of awareness to open in the feet and legs, in the pelvis and the groin, in the buttocks and back, the fingers and hands and arms, elbows, shoulders. In the breathing of the torso, in the neck and the face, in the eyes, in the scalp. And bringing aliveness into the eyes. When they're closed, there's a particular experience, a lack of seeing. And then who is it that makes the command to open them? Notice that intention. How it comes out of nowhere, really. And then when it's time, when you're ready, let that intention manifest and watch the miracle of seeing happen. Hello, my beautiful friends. Thank you for gracing each other with our presence. Jim and I need to sign off this morning right at 8 o'clock. We've got a PIMC board meeting. I do have one announcement, two. One is we need someone to help us at PIMC in the role, in the financial role. Someone who knows something about nonprofit accounting, can help with budgeting. It's the role of treasurer. And if you could do that, we are really quite in need of someone. Our books are in really fine order. Doug Ross, who left the board, I guess it's about 2 months ago, really left things in very crisp shape. So and we have really good software now, and Cricket, our bookkeeper, is really on the ball. So if you could possibly do that, I would love to hear from you. Robert@robertbeatty.com. And the other thing is that the Brighton Bush retreat is actually full. If you would like to be on the waiting list, please send an email to kat@portlandinsight.org, K-A-T, and that will happen. So other than that, I think I just want to go to the retreat is June 24 to 29. There's also a retreat at Hollyhock earlier, and a retreat in Germany in July, if you want to go for the great adventure. And it will be in English, obviously. And I'm co-teaching that one in Germany with Frank later. That information, by the way, about the retreats is on my website, easy, front page. So I invite you to share what wants to be shared.
Good morning, Robert.
It's Pamela. Hello, Pamela.
I wanted to let people in the local Portland Sangha know and be aware of a um, Ukrainian family's business called Plenty Food and Deli. I talked to the owner yesterday, and they are collecting money to help people without families who have been affected in Ukraine by the war. And I just wanted to let people know that. I mailed them a small donation because I'm not local anymore, and just wanted to make the Sangha aware of that.
And where is it again?
I put that in the
Oh,
chat.
great.
It's called Plenty Food and Deli, and it is in Happy Valley.
Aha, right on 82nd. Okay,
Yes.
great. Thank you. I was driving along 82nd the other day, Pamela, and I suddenly remembered you telling me about the dressers that were on sale somewhere, which are now in our bedroom. It was someplace on the left-hand side of the road. Who knew? Yeah, you did. Plenty food and deli.
Hello, Sangha. Hello, Robert.
Oh, it's Amy. Hi, Amy.
Hi. Hi, everybody. Um, I just wanted to share, two things. It's been an interesting year with some challenges with my daughter's mental health, and now my father-in-law is stage 4 prostate cancer. So
Uh,
it's been hard in a lot of ways, and the kind of state of the world is really overwhelming me a lot of times, especially right now. But I wanted to share a lighter thought, and that was during the sit today, I wear these headphones and I hear crows, and there's no way to know if they're crows at your house, Robert, or crows at my house, and or if they're like almost there could be like a call and repeat, like maybe that's Robert's crows, maybe that's my crows, but it doesn't matter, and it's very connecting and it's very cool. So I'm
and
going to share that later
and
thought.
are they at your house or my house or inside your head?
Right,
Yeah.
all of the above.
Thank you. Good luck with those challenging life circumstances.
Thank you.
Good luck. No, that's not what I mean. May you have strength and mindfulness and great compassion for all. Dukkha.
Said unkind things to my wife this morning about crows, and now I feel bad.
You said unkind things to your wife about crows? You spoke ill of crows, you mean?
I spoke ill of crows, and now I feel bad.
I see. Well, there you are. You look very monkish.
Apparently, I have some repentance to do.
I guess. You feed the crows, I suppose.
Crows can take care of themselves just fine.
I see. So you're not really repentant. Funny. My sister lives in Vancouver, British Columbia, my sister Barbara. And her house is such that you can see over the houses across the lane, And then the mountains, the North Shore Mountains are there. And I comment, when I visit her there, I have tea with her in the morning. And a little while, it's not right at dawn, maybe half an hour or more. The light is full. And there are thousands and thousands of crows that go to the west out toward the ocean. And then at night, they all go back. They roost somewhere. They know where they roost, but it's a lot of birds every day. They commute. It's quite interesting. Janet saying she feeds peanuts to some crows. Oh, right now, I see. Everybody's looking for something to eat. Speaking of dukkha, it's one of the challenges of being in a body. Food is not an optional thing for us. And when we have lots, it's no big deal. But boy, the slightest threat to the food supply and things get pretty dicey. Well, anybody have something you'd like to say? We do need to be on time to our board meeting. So,
can I share one more thing about crows, actually?
Sure, Paula.
So this is something I just read the other day, and it was like on a random site, but the person actually happened to be in a Portland neighborhood, and they had learned about how you can like befriend crows because they are super intelligent, and that you can feed them and they'll because they recognize people, and they had done that, and but then they started to become very protective of this person, and it was to the point where if someone else was in their yard talking to them, they would start dive bombing people who would come over and talk to them. So then initially he was worried. He's like, can I be liable if these crows injure someone else on my behalf? He's like, this is not what I wanted. And then that someone was like, well, what you should do is just start having other people in the neighborhood start feeding them as well. That way they'll love everybody in the neighborhood. And they did that. And there's this neighborhood of people now who are very fond of these crows. And they apparently one of the days when it was snowy or icy, someone in the neighborhood had slipped and fell in their driveway, and all of the crows started going berserk. And someone was like, what's going on? And came outside and found them. So our neighborhood crows maybe saved my neighbor. So
wow.
Yeah, a lot of crow discussion this morning, but I just read that 2 days ago. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a lovely image.
Yeah.
Are you certain they weren't calling out to the other crows that it was mealtime?
I'm not certain, actually. Very suspicious of crows, Rob.
Yeah, this notion of feeding crows take care of themselves just fine.
I see. So you think they were saying, person down, person down?
That's exactly what I think. When crows in intelligence tests are comparable to chimps.
Whoa.
I strongly believe they will survive us.
Well, that'd be good. Okay, friends, have a meeting to get to. Let us sing our way out of here. May all beings receive all blessings. Bhavatu sabbe mangalam. Bhavatu sabbe mangalam. Bhavatu Sabe Mangalam. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you. All the crows, be well, be well, be well. That's a terrible thing to say in Crow, Robert. Terrible, I tell you.
I see. I don't speak
Language,
Crow.
my friend, language.
All right.
Be well, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye.
Goodbye, dear friends. Goodbye, friends on Facebook.